Let's do a bourbon review of the World Whiskey Society 15-year-old Kentucky Samurai. My name is TJ Gamble, and this is Brewzle, which is just an elaborate attempt to make my bourbon collection a tax deduction. If you're new around here, consider subscribing, and let's get into the review. Have you ever purchased a bottle, anything really, and immediately regretted it? Like immediately, before you even got to the car with the bottle? Have you regretted it? This has been one of those purchases for me. I bought this bottle, I've probably had this bottle for about 3 years, unopened, sitting on a shelf somewhere, trying to figure out what I was going to do with it. I went into the liquor store and they had these setting up by the register. Hadn't even put them on the shelf yet. And they had this one and a lesser expression, a 7-year-old, I want to say. And I asked the guy how much this bottle was, and he gave me a price, and it was less than $100. I want to say 79, 80 bucks, something like that. I was like, I'll take it, just for the stopper. This is probably the best looking stopper ever put on a bottle of bourbon. So I was like, that's worth it. 80 bucks, I'll take it. So he hands me the bottle, and I do my shopping, and I look around, and I pick up a couple of other bottles, and I roll up there, and it rings up at about $300, $299, I think, roughly. And at that point, I've already talked a lot of smack, right? You go into these places, these liquor stores, and you're trying to get on their A customer list. You want the good bottles. So you talk some smack. You know, you buy a bunch of bottles, you have a bunch of them in your cart, you spend hundreds of dollars. And I had been talking up a pretty good game at this particular store, and I've been in there a lot, so I've really been working this store. And at that point, I could not back down. Like, I was pot committed, right? Like, I was not gonna get on the A list if I did not buy this bottle at that point with all of the crap that I had been talking. So I went ahead and I bought it. Before I could even get outside, I regretted it. Like, I was just like, maybe I could sell it. Maybe it'll get rare. You know, maybe this is like a one-off expression or something that they would do. And so I've just been sitting on it. Should I open it? Like, I open all my whiskey. I don't have a single bottle that is unopenable, including this one. But I was torn. And so we've been moving and doing a bunch of things, working on the house for the last couple of years. I found this on the shelf back there the other day in storage, and I got it out and I was like, we're gonna do a review on it. Maybe this is some sort of limited thing that, you know, never gonna be seen again, and this is going to be a really cool bottle and a cool review. But then I go to the liquor store yesterday, and they've got 7 of these things sitting on the shelf right now. So apparently they either found more or they re-released it, even though I bought this one like 2 or 3 years ago. It's not that special, at least not that rare, because there's a bunch I could go get you 7 right now if you wanted them. So I'm torn about opening it, but YOLO, right? We don't buy whiskey to stare at. None of these whiskeys on these shelves look that great to me. They all taste good. So we are going to open this guy up, and I'm really bad at opening things. All right, so the plastic's off, and now we have to open it. Now, what is this? World Whiskey Society, I'm pretty sure, bought a bunch of barrels, and they have just packaged them up and are selling them, marketing them. The marketing on this, they call this Kentucky Samurai Edition. And bottle-wise, this is a B bottle with an A topper. Right? The bottle is not particularly special. It might be B+. The label, though, is really, really intricate. It almost looks like a dollar bill or a deck of playing card backs or something like that. Like, it's really elaborate. Probably pushes this overall bottle up to an A grade, just as far as appearance, and the stopper alone just puts it at the top of the list. So it's the Kentucky Samurai Edition, Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey finished in Japanese Mizunara oak shoku barrels. This is bottle 321 of 650 bottles, limited edition. Again, I know where there's 6 more in Columbus, Georgia right now if you want them. I can't read the small text on the back. Who can? I don't know. I don't know why they put it on there, because they obviously don't want me to read it as small as they put the print. So let's hear the cork pop. Let's hear the samurai yell. Not bad. We got a little interference there on the plastic, but not a bad cork pop at all. This is a heavy cork too. Like, this makes the bottle. I'm really looking forward to just finishing this bottle and having this cork to put on my infinity bottle or something. Nice glug there on the pour. So 15 years old. I don't know anything about Mizunara Oak Shoku barrels. I'm not a huge fan of finished whiskey, so I'm not sure what I'm gonna think about this one. You definitely smell the oak, but it's like a sweet oak. It's weird. For 15 years, I'm expecting it to be a little over oaked. I'm a big fan of like 12 years and younger. 15 years tends to get a little over oaked. There's a lot of oak on the nose, but it's really sweet. It's kind of like a floral, fruity oak. Okay, that's actually really pleasant. It's oaky, not too oaky. I'm not sure where they sourced this from. I'm not sure who actually made the whiskey. You can definitely taste a lot of the sweetness on the finish. If I had to guess, if I had to like try to give you a flavor profile, I would almost, if somebody had handed me a Knob Creek 12 and said this is some sort of finished Knob Creek, maybe not as oaky as the Knob Creek 12 that I have on the shelf here, definitely not as oaky as the Knob Creek 15, but it kind of has that similar flavor profile. Overall, a pretty good bottle. Like, that's a pretty good bottle, but not a $300 bottle, not to me. It's got a good mouthfeel. It definitely has some burn. What is the proof on this guy? I'm blind, and there's a lot of text on this. I'm gonna have to get a light out, so this may ruin the video here. 78.5% corn, 13% rye, 8.5% malted barley. I still don't see a proof. Like, the proof seems a little high on this. 51% alcohol by volume, so 102 proof. Right there, hidden right up here in this intricate, detailed design. It very much drinks like a Knob Creek to me, though. So, would you pay $300 for something that tastes like a really good Knob Creek product? Probably not, but Knob Creek doesn't have this frickin' stopper. Does this say? Let's make sure it doesn't say. It is bottled by Independent Distilling Co., Decatur, Georgia. Maybe why I could find so much of it in Georgia. Doesn't say on the bottle that I can see where this was actually produced. So I'm not sure who produced the whiskey, but it does taste an awful lot like a 12-year-old Knob Creek product. Obviously a little bit more sweetness with the finish on it. Really good bottle. I enjoy it a lot more than I anticipated. I still wish I had my $300 back. Have you tried this? Have you seen it? What are your thoughts on it? Let me know in the comments. And if you come over, you can definitely try some, because we need to drink all of this so I can have the stopper for something else.